Hello, my name is Sid, and I am an editorial photographer focusing on cars. Today, I want to talk about a shoot I did recently for Overcrest Productions that involved a Lamborghini Diablo. The SE30 was introduced in 1993 to celebrate 30 years of Lamborghini. There were only 150 of these built, and the default spec was this purple exterior with a blue interior. The only way to get something different is if you had specifically requested it. An identical one was actually used in Jamiroquai's Cosmic Girl music video, so you might recognize it from that. I have photographed a lot of cars from this era. This specific Diablo is probably the most iconic car of the 90s. So let's talk about the concept. Overcrest had requested a shot and an installation that looked similar to work I've done before. If you're familiar with my work, you probably know that I tend to put cars in strange predicaments. I have oftentimes used plants or flowers in these scenarios, so I started sketching a Diablo. I had flowers pouring out of the hood, pouring out of the wheels. I had initially used flowers that were more like roses and stuff you'd see in a bouquet. I ended up going with wildflowers, knowing we'd be somewhere outside, and that would give me a lot of wiggle room with what types of flowers I was actually using. So we have our assignment, we have our concept, we have our sketch, and now it's time to order the props. For a shoot like this, I would not be able to use real flowers. It is 2,000 miles away from home. It would just be a nightmare trying to organize that. So I decided to order a bunch of different variants of fake wildflowers. For a project to this scale, I really like to order my props in advance, or at least samples of those props, to know what I'm getting into. And fortunately for me, using wildflowers, everything that I ordered looked amazing. There was no wrong way to put them together, and I ended up putting in a really big bulk order that was shipped directly to the shooting grounds. For a project like this, that's over the top, you want it to be crazy and absurd, you have to order more than you think you need. Fake flowers are not cheap, and it was very painful to order an excessive amount that I thought I wouldn't even need all of this. But let me tell you, when I got there, I had ordered just the right amount. I honestly think I could have even went a little crazier with it. Site scouting. This can make or break your project. I will site scout sometimes weeks or months in advance. You want to make sure it's accessible for the car, you want to make sure you have permission, and if it doesn't work out, then you have enough time to go and find something else. For this event, unfortunately, I did not have any choice over the location. It was meant to be exactly where the event was happening, and I quickly realized that we were not in a grassy, lush environment. We were in the California desert, up a mountain, in a wine vineyard, and there's a lot of dust and a lot of dirt. This was a little scary for me because my concept was a car in a grass field full of flowers. I'm now looking around at a very dry, dusty, beige area. But again, the shoot has to happen that day. In these situations, you just have to think positively. I decided that with the amount of flowers and greens that I have, this shoot might kind of look like an oasis in the desert type of theme. You know, you have a very vacant background full of dirt, and then you have a beautiful car full of lush greens. I didn't know if it was gonna work, but I had to try. The shoot. I'm now on location, pulling flowers out of boxes, filling the car anywhere I can. Another thing that I didn't really consider was that I was in an area that had massive mountains and canyons surrounding it. I did not factor in that my sun was actually setting way, way, way sooner than what the weather app would tell me. I'm now fighting against the sun, I'm fighting against time, and I'm fighting with thousands of plastic flowers. The good thing is, as I had expected, making wildflowers look right is very easy. They're all different, it doesn't matter where you put them. I'm filling the hood, I'm filling the wheels, I'm filling the doors, and it looks great. The hours and hours of prep work that go into this make it so much easier the day of. I usually get the photo I want within the first 20 minutes of shooting. However, the odds were kind of against me here, and I get ready to take my shot, the exact angle I wanted that was in all my concept art, and I don't like it. It wasn't doing it for me. Was that a factor of the environment? Maybe. Was it a factor of I've never really shot a Diablo before, I don't know what angles make them look good? Maybe. It was officially blue hour. I had maybe 10 minutes of that left, and I just had to shoot any angle I could think of and just hope that one of them looks right. I did what I could. I went back to my hotel, and I started reviewing everything I had. Here is the first shot that I took that I wasn't totally satisfied with. I don't think it's a bad picture, but I don't think the angle really does the installation or the car any justice. I started reviewing the other photos I had took and realized that this car actually does have a lot of flattering angles, and maybe it just wasn't this top-down photo that I shot. Something I always forget to do with my photos is take close-ups. I actually really love the close-up shots I got. Overall, I would say I'm really happy with how this shoot came out. It wasn't what I was expecting, but it turned into something that I really do like. I think the coolest thing about this project is that this was going to be a live installation. Seeing how other people photographed this display was honestly really interesting to me, and it opens up my mind to other things that I can try next time, or other angles that I never would have thought of. That was really cool to see other people shoot something I made.